All right, happy Thursday, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? We got two people on, so you're watching, so that's good. Um, so we're gonna wait a few minutes, of course. Let's see if we can get some more people show up. So hopefully, I hope your day is going well. Hope your week's been well. Let's see now. We're just, as I said, we're just kind of. Oh, there we go. What? Did we have a drum roll, please? All right. All right, there was your drum roll, Woody. How? Hopefully your day went well. Hopefully everything's going well with you. Took off on me a little early last night, didn't you? And as always, of course, I do appreciate any and all likes and shares. It helps with the algorithm. Helps to try to get more friendlier people in here. Yeah. So we're just waiting around to see who else might show up here. Hmm. Well, Woody, I hope you're doing well tonight. See, we're at 2 minutes 20, so 2.5 minutes here. Um, yeah, so yeah, RJ had kind of a cute video last night. It wasn't on a live stream; it was just something he did. Had his little marmalade puppet, kind of doing a parody version of American Pie called Commonscape Pie. It was actually kind of cute with a little dark twist in there. So hopefully we'll have people show up tonight, and there is back up to two now, so that's good. Um, yeah. Always, of course, I do appreciate any and all likes and shares. Hopefully, we can get some more friendlier people in here. Um, oh, let's see. I said before I get started, I'm just waiting to let see if we can see if more people will show up. Check something here. Long time ago, friends below wouldn't play. Come on with the band, the rock and roll band. Pick up truck and a lady Lou in the bay. Hey man, a duty to the night. The music died. As we're singing bye bye Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys are getting drunk on whiskey and rye, singing this will be the day that I die. This will be the day that I die. Let's see. We're just past the 5 minute mark. Let's see now. Oh, my day today is pretty much the same. Went up to the store, got my, once I got up, went up to the store, checked some of the video stuff, and then went up to the store, got my energy drink. Kind of looked ahead to what I'd be covering for the comic retrospect over the next couple months here. So got that kind of more prepared. Um, got kind of looking ahead too to what I will be watching anime wise. Watching Tsunami Block. Then let's see what you had to. A dude moves a few pieces of furniture and feels completely sore. I hate getting old. It didn't used to be like this. Yeah, nobody likes to. Nobody likes getting old, Woody. Nobody likes getting old. Um, that's kind of the sad part about it. Nobody really likes getting old or anything like that. Let's see. But that's the thing about being mortal too, is that Father Time has his way with us, unfortunately. So, you know, um, it's just it's part of living, I guess, is that eventual point when, from ashes to ashes and dust to dust. But and then once, of course, our mortal cells fall away, we move on to another plane of existence. Some people might say. Let's see, we're already in some. Yeah, so probably once it hits the 8 minute mark, I guess I'll start getting going here. Um, Talking about what's on tap for tonight and all that. So, anyways, gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere. Find adventure that's beyond compare. They are the gummy bears. They are the gummy bears. All right, so we just hit the 8 minute mark. So I'm going to go ahead. So tonight we will have 8 stories go over, 2 comic related, 6 anime related. Um, let's see, the 2 comic related stories are from Bounding in the Comics. The 6 anime related stories are from Comic CBR. Let's see, among the stories tonight we're going to be talking about, of course, um, include prolific Batman writer Chuck Dixon reveals the key elements he would include in a Judge Dredd story. Also, we have Super Crooks creator Mark Millar declaring appeasing Twitter mobs is the way to cultural stagnation. That one's going to be an interesting one to read. And then let's see. What about the anime stories? I know one of the pieces, mostly it's like review stuff. Mostly review stuff, trailers and the like. As I recall, let me see now. So, of course, how to get into one of the first anime stories we're going to look at is how people can get into watching or reading Black Lagoon, which is a very interesting one that could even have some mainstream appeal, you know, um, to it. I've seen it; it's a pretty good anime. Let's see. Let me to remind myself. Jujutsu Kaisen Zero drops eye-catching new poster for IMAX release. That was one of them as well. Let's see. There's a trailer from Rising of season 2 of Rising of the Shield Hero that focuses on Philo. Let's see. One Piece set to surpass Harry Potter, Batman, and sales records. Another little piece we'll look at. 5 sports animes to watch after Kuroko's basketball, and then New York City urges anime New York NYC attendees to get tested for COVID. So that's all that's on tap for tonight. Let's see now. Let me get back to the comics portion of it. See if there's anything more. Oh yeah, hello third person. I hope you're having a good day today. We're about to get started, and thank you all for the likes and shares. I do appreciate that. So now it looks like we're gonna go ahead and get started on. We just went past the 11-minute mark here. I go ahead and get started on the articles, going through those, and go ahead and get started on those, and alrighty. So without no further ado, let's go ahead and get going on these articles here. So the first article we're going to look at. Prolific Batman writer Chuck Dixon reveals the key elements he would include in a Judge Dredd story. Article by John F. Trent, published earlier today. So, of course, as everybody knows, Chuck Dixon is currently working with Vox Day over at on Arctoons, a digital comic platform for Arcaven Comics. They've been doing some good work over there. So let's see what Chuck has to say here. Crocodile tears. Prolific Batman and Punisher writer Chuck Dixon recently revealed the key elements he would include in a Judge Dredd story. It's right here. Detective Comics number 660 is from where this is from. Let's see. Dixon detailed what he would include in a Judge Dredd story in his most recent episode of Ask Chuck Dixon on his personal YouTube channel. This is from, I guess, the 86th episode of Ask Chuck Dixon, as noted there in the screenshot. The topic came up when one of Dixon's fans, Dara O'Sullivan, asked, quote, "You said in your earlier videos that you would like to write Judge Dredd, but the powers that be in 2000 AD will only allow British writers to do. Will only allow British writers to do. What is your favorite Dredd story? And if that embargo was ever lifted and you got a chance to write Dredd, what elements, characters, and villains would feature in your story?" Unquote. After detailing a number of his favorite Dredd stories, Dixon turned to the second part of the question, where he revealed he actually did indeed send in a pitch for a Judge Dredd story when IDW gained the license for the series. Of course, we don't know if they could be, that's another license they could be losing, depending upon how the people of Judge Dredd feel about how they're handling it. He revealed, quote, "I did propose when IDW got the series. I did do a pitch, which I couldn't find. I tried to find for this broadcast to remind me of what I had pitched. Could not find it. But I got turned down because they wanted a Brit, somebody with an accent different than mine, to write the series." Unquote. I don't know if that was IDW that wanted that, or maybe the people who more own the rights to Judge Dredd. So let's see. Anyways, as we continue on here, Dickson then went on to detail that he would include what he would include in a Judge Dredd series, saying, quote, "It would definitely involve Judge Hershey because I love the Judge Hershey character," unquote. He continued, in quotes, "and it would definitely involve block wars, and that fascinates the hell out of me. The Carl Urban Dredd movie, I mean, it's a block war movie for the most. There's not two blocks at war with each other. It's a block at war with itself. And I think that's really cool," unquote. Quote, "Short of claustrophobic interior windowless combat arena, that's pretty much endless. And these buildings that are hundreds of stories tall, filled with um, miscreants and filled with lots of innocence and danger and stuff like that. And I could get into that," unquote, Dixon elaborated. Let's see. Dixon further stated, quote, "I just thinking off the top of my head, do a block war story where there's some sort of malignant influence, some mystery to be solved, along with all the bloodshed and gun battles in the hallways and stuff like that. That there's some overall thing that Dredd realizes that something's not right here. There's something afoot. The word afoot is often meant like something's missing or something's not quite right with the situation. That's usually what afoot means when they say it like that. Something's behind this. This isn't like a normal block war. I guess that's supposed to be unquoted. Quote, and if we don't stop, it's going to spread to all of Mega City 1. And so they have to uncover this malignant alien presence or whatever so that they can win the day and once again bring order to chaos, unquote. He concluded. What do you make of Dixon's ideas for a judge, for a Judge Dredd story? Would you read a story like that? Kind of sounds interesting. Do you think Dixon should just create his own character and tell a story like it, or maybe introduce a character to his Arctoons Avalon series that follows a similar plot? That sounds good too. I mean, he's got two or three avenues there he could explore. Anybody here have any additional comments on that? What do you all think? You think maybe he should consider maybe putting it his own, putting the idea in his own book? Would he? Or what would you rather see? Would you rather see him put it in his own book, his own stories? Maybe do a Judge Dredd version, the Judge Dredd version he talked about, or what do you think, Woody? And whoever else may be here. I'll give you a chance to respond there before. I got nothing. Glad to see he's working with Vox. Yeah. Well, I know Batgoat has an issue with Vox because apparently Vox Vox and Ethan had a falling out, but to Vox's credit, he's producing a pretty good product here with his Arctoons project here with Archaven Comics. With Arctoons and some, Chuck with him and Chuck Dixon working together, and then of course they brought in Joe Bennett after Marvel let him go over those political cartoons from like a few years ago. So, um, yes, all right. So if you got nothing more to add, then I guess I'll move on to the next article then here. All right, this one should be interesting. All right, so Super Crooks creator Mark Millar declares appeasing Twitter mobs is a way to cultural stagnation, unquote, quote unquote. Article by John F. Trent, published earlier today. Super Crooks creator Mark Millar recently declared that appeasing Twitter mobs, quote, is a way to cultural stagnation, unquote, in his most recent newsletter to subscribers. Nice. In Millar's latest newsletter, he touted the success of his latest comic book, created in house at Netflix, King of Spies. That follows, quote, an aging super spy in his twilight years, unquote, who discovers, quote, he's got 6 months to live, unquote, and decides, quote, to rectify all the mistakes he's made before he goes, unquote. Sounds like a very interesting story there. Millar claims, quote, the book went down an absolute bomb when it went on sale yesterday and sold out overnight in a huge number of stores. So we think we're very quickly moving into second printing, which is great news, unquote. All right. While touting the series' success, Millar also noted that the quote reaction also made me think about what makes something catch fire, unquote. Millar, citing the life of St. Augustine, posts that people remember bad boys. He explains, quote, it was something I was thinking about in church a few weeks back with the kids, and the priest was talking about St. Augustine. He was a rock star. He lived the life. If Coke was around, he would have been doing it every minute of every day. But we remember him because he was a bad boy, unquote. Quote, he broke all the rules we might expect from a saint. And when he did something good, it was all the more jaw dropping, unquote, he added. I don't know exactly how this attains to appeasing Twitter, but at least the story is pretty interesting thus far here. But then again, it may be even to a point that I've talked about before, the idea of the looky loos who sit there and just slow down so they can watch the chaos of a car wreck too. Millar then took this argument and applied it to movies, writing, quote, it made me think about all the movies too. How the Mavericks are the guys we remember, the troublemakers, the ones who get statues, and the most obedient conformist are the ones who are completely forgotten by history, unquote. Hmm. Quote, nobody knows who else works in Dirty Harry's department. Nobody can name 5 or 6. We remember the nails that stand up when the others have all been neatly hammered down. And I think it's true with creatives across the media, unquote. He elaborated. I think I see where he's going with this. Basically, the idea is when you just focus on trying to conform to one ideology or something like that, it does lead to a kind of a stagnation. I think that's where he's probably going with this. Let's see. Hey, Pops. Running through, dropping. I love. Well, thank you, Pops. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for coming in. I hope you will at some point maybe listen to my commentary here, and at least have something to say about it. But I do appreciate you coming in and liking and sharing the stream. Hopefully, we can get some more people in here. Anyways, thank you again for being here. Um, as I shall continue on. Let's see now. Where were we? Oh, yeah. Millar went on, quote, the Robert Sellers books about Hollywood hellraisers like O'Toole, Burton, Harris, and especially Oliver Reed, the great Peter Biskind novels about the Hollywood outlaws, unquote. He then went on to detail his experience with Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns. Quote, I remember being 16 years old and reading a newspaper interview with Frank Miller, a comic creator in a newspaper, saying a great cartoonist should be an assassin. He should never play it safe, unquote. Quote, his upcoming book about a drunken, fat 50-something Batman poking fun at Reagan's America and Superman deployed as a person of mass destruction sounded like the most interesting thing I've ever heard, he detailed. Say what? Interview with Frank Miller. Oh, this guy didn't know who Frank Miller was. Frank Miller is the guy who gave us saying a great cartoonist should be an assassin. He should never play it safe. Quote, in his upcoming book, 50 something poking fun at Reagan's America, and he detailed. Quote, this and Watchmen and Moz and the Hernandez bro gave teen me comics like I never dared imagine, and every newspaper, magazine, and music show started talking comics when they'd always been for kids, unquote, he asserts. Miller then concludes, so I guess this is Frank Miller talking, quote, what attracted these guys' radical takes, high energy, and big risk are almost always rewarded. Playing it safe to appease the Twitter mobs, who don't really read comics anyway, is the way to cultural stagnation, unquote. Okay, that's a very take. Let me see before I. Oh, back up to two people. That's good to see. I'll even go with. Millar previously claimed on Twitter back in May, quote, here's an amazing stat. I heard yesterday only 10% of comic buyers have a Twitter account and only half of those accounts are actually active. He added, quote, Thus, 95% of comic book audience is not on Twitter, which must be mind blowing for the company marketing department. Yeah, that's something else. So they're basically, so what he's saying there is that these comic book companies and their pushing of their woke agenda are marketing to just 5% of their clientele. That's funny. This small 5% has more influence apparently with comic book creators than the other 95%. Something sounds a little screwy there with the logic, don't you think? In a subsequent tweet, Millar said, quote, I've never been interested in the various Twitter wars, and this puts the whole thing in perspective. A baseline of 95% of your readers just want to read high quality comics. That is what this is all about, unquote. Which is true. That's a true statement. Quote, Twitter should just be a virtual comic con um, where we catch up with each other, unquote, he continued. What do you make of Millar's claim that appeasing Twitter mods leads to culture? I agree with him. I kind of agree with him. What do you make of Millar's claiming that radical takes is what makes creators and their artwork memorable? Yeah, I mean, you got a point there too. You know, usually the rebels who leave the more lasting impression. That is kind of true. Um, anyways, let's see. So with that, let's get ready to move on to. So that's all for the comic portion of the broadcast today. That's all the comic stories. So now we'll get ready to head over and look at some of the anime stories of the night. But before, of course, we get started on the anime stories. Hey Woody, what do you think of Millar's comments? He actually, you can always tell which ones are the pioneers. They're the ones with the arrows in their backs. Yeah, that's true. That does seem to be true, Woody. You make a very interesting point there. Hmm. Anyways, before I get started, I'm gonna just check something here real quick. Couple of things I guess I'll check. Let me see. I'm just checking something right here. Okay. You're gonna drop by. You're going to drop by and say. You're going to drop. All right. So, anyways, Alrighty then. Um, and now it's saying we're down to one again. Woody, you still here with me, right? It's kind of being screwy. Black Lagoon: How to Get Started with the Anime and Manga. Now, this show is a pretty good one. I've seen it. It's pretty interesting. Black Lagoon is a slick action anime series that may remind fans and newcomers alike of Quentin Tarantino or even Grand Theft Auto. It's got that feel. It definitely does have that feel to it. By Louis Kemner, published 15 hours ago. There's one of the main characters right there. Of course, in the English dub of this, she was voiced by Maurice Hendrickson. So Marike Hendrickson. So it was dubbed up in Vancouver. So, anyways, Black Lagoon is an action anime series based on Rei Hiroe's original manga of the same name. Although the story has been on hiatus more than a few times, it's still a worthwhile read and watch for fans of action anime and movies in general. It may remind viewers of Quentin Tarantino's work, for example. The ongoing tale of Black Lagoon is always welcoming new fans. With both its manga and its now complete anime season, plus an original OVA storyline, the R rated series isn't for everyone, but for fans of crime thrillers and action titles. Black Lagoon delivers in true style. Well, first time we're going to look at the story of Black Lagoon. Right. Right. Okay then. So, all right. The story of Black Lagoon. Here's the story of Black Lagoon. Black Lagoon begins with Rokuro Rock Okajima, a businessman who generally narrates the story, and in the anime version serves as the protagonist. Rock's life is turned upside down when his company betrays him and he's left to die in the crime-ridden Southeast Asian seas. He crosses paths with the Black Lagoon mercenary gang during a fierce battle and soon joins as their newest member. Rock has already has hardly ever shot a gun or smuggled anything in his life. But now crime and violence are a daily reality, so he must adjust quickly or face his doom. His new allies, including the fierce Tsundere Revi, that was the girl we saw up top there. Revi. I just couldn't remember her name off the top of my head, unfortunately. Um, yeah. Let's see. The easygoing Benny and the tough but fair Dutch. And all that stand between him and a bullet between the eyes. Rock uses his business acumen and calculating mind to help support Dutch and Benny as the brains of the outfit. He sometimes acts as the Black Lagoon gang's secret weapon, since no one expects such a meek and well dressed fellow to wield an RPG or drive a getaway car. Rock is stubbornly optimistic about the world and its people, despite Revy's dark and bitter cynicism. And the two start to rub off on each other in surprising ways. Now, Rock in the English dub of Black Lagoon is voiced by Brad Swale, who you would know from his work, including Nightcrawler and X-Men Evolution. Um, I think that's one of the main ones that you would know. Also, as Koji Aiba in Infinite Revias. Um, Benny is voiced by Brian Drummond. So, a few names out there. They also embark on all kinds of thrilling but dangerous missions together, from retrieving a painting from a sunken World War II era submarine. That was kind of an interesting one to watch in terms of the artwork, in terms of just the storytelling there, to fighting off a chainsaw wielding maniac and a pair of murderous Romanian twins who wield weapons bigger than they are. Oh yeah, the Romanian twins are like child assassins. Nothing is simple or easy in the fictional crime city of Roanapur. Where to read the Black Lagoon manga? Let's see. All right. Let me just check here real quick. All right. So, anyways, all right. So, where to read the Black Lagoon manga? There's the there's the manga artwork for Revy. The Black Lagoon manga has experienced many hiatuses over the years, and it may be some time before a new volume is released in English. Fortunately, fans of seinen action series still have plenty of Black Lagoon manga or Black Lagoon material to work with, and all of it can be found at local bookstores or online retailers. Barnes and Noble's online catalog is a great place to start. Having all 11 volumes of the Black Lagoon manga available for shipping online. Amazon likewise stocks all 11 volumes of the series. Interested manga fans can also visit Right Stuff Anime's digital catalog for copies of Black Lagoon. Amazon and Barnes and Noble um, also offer digital versions on Kindle and Nook, respectively. Interested fans may note that the Black Lagoon manga does not yet have any omnibus editions or hardcover deluxe editions at this time, which I'm guessing probably because it's not a finished title. It's not a completed series. I think it's on from what they were just saying in the article here. They're talking about how it constantly goes on hiatus, so it might just be on another hiatus. That's probably why they don't have like an omnibus title or anything like that. Where to watch the Black Lagoon anime? And there's a look you don't want to see in a dark alley. There's a face you don't want to see in a dark alley, pissed off at you. If looks could kill, right? Oh boy, if looks could kill. All right, so Continuing on here. Anime fans interested in streaming Black Lagoon can find every episode of both seasons on Funimation, including the 5 OVA episodes that make up the Roberta's Blood Trail storyline. Funimation streams Black Lagoon in both Japanese and English dub with English subtitles. Similarly, Hulu streams Black Lagoon in both English and Japanese dub, but without the OVA episodes. Black Lagoon has a Blu ray DVD release as well. Fans can find it on Amazon, and this set features episodes in English and Japanese dub. It also includes every OVA episode and other bonus features. Right Stuff Anime stocks the same Blu-ray DVD set in its online catalog. Oh, there you go. There you go with that one. All right, so we're at 46 minutes. I've got to find it. Anyway, straighten this out a bit. All right, let me see. All right, so I guess we'll. Oh, by the way, yeah, I did read all that. Okay. I'll just make sure it's 4 hours. No. Okay. Let's see now. There we go. Okay, there we go. What's up next, Mike? Well, the next article we're going to look at is Jujutsu Kaisen Zero drops eye-catching new poster for IMAX releases. Jujutsu Kaisen Zero announces it will be available in IMAX with a new poster that sees Satoru Gojo, Yuta Okotsu, and Suguru Geto staring viewers down. Article by Michael Cerna, published 11 hours ago. A new Jujutsu Kaisen Zero poster has been created to promote the movie's IMAX release. The poster was revealed by the series' official Japanese Twitter account, along with the tagline, quote, experience the origin of Jujutsu Kaisen in IMAX, unquote. The poster features an extreme close-up of the eyes of the prequel movie's central three characters. Its main protagonist, Yuta Okotsu, the sorcerer who promises to help him with his curse, Satoru Gojo, and finally the antagonist, Suguru Geto. The movie will open in over 418 theaters, including IMAX theaters, in Japan on December 24th. So Christmas Eve, 3 weeks from tomorrow. A release date for the film outside of Japan has yet to be announced. But given JJK's massive worldwide popularity, it's safe to assume that details about the movie internationally distribution will be announced soon. I think it's supposed to be international, not internationally. See how how they really screw around with grammar right there. Look at that. Wow. Look at those eyes. Tense. The movie's producers also recently announced that a special booklet, which features the all new manga chapter focused on Yuta, will be given out to theater goers who see the prequel movie in Japan. The booklet will also feature commentary from series creator Gege Akutami and other staff members who worked on the film. A similar booklet was offered to viewers of the most recent My Hero Academia movie, World Heroes Mission, which was also translated and distributed to fans who saw the movie when it premiered in North America. Jujutsu Kaisen Zero began life as a manga entitled Tokyo Metropolitan Curse Technical School, which was written and drawn by Akutami in 2017. The manga told the story of Yuta, a young man who is haunted by the spirit of his childhood sweetheart Rika. After Rika's spirit transforms into a dangerous monster known as a curse, Yuta is brought to a mysterious school for sorcerers so he can learn how to control her powers. The short mini-series was published about a year before the main Jujutsu Kaisen manga made its debut and introduced the world and many of the characters and concepts that would be expanded upon in Akutami's later series. The manga was later renamed to reflect its connect with the popular shonen manga and its place within the series continuity. Excuse me a moment. Sounds like my dog maybe barking. Gotta go check on Chloe here. I'll be right back. Yes, Chloe. Yeah. Hey, Rick. How you doing, man? Hi, Mike. And all thought I come say hi before I start my stream in a few minutes. Well, thank you for dropping in. I do appreciate any and all likes and shares. Had to go tend to my dog for a moment there, so I do thank you though for dropping in. I am gonna get back to the story here in a moment, just soon as I check some stuff here. Oh, anyways, all right. So with that, let's continue with the article here. This is based about a Jujutsu Kaisen trailer that is coming out. So the release of the movie will cap off a banner year for Jujutsu Kaisen. The series was recently revealed to be Japan's best-selling manga series for the year, with over 30 million copies sold in the last 12 months. The manga is expected to surpass a total circulation of more than 60 million copies before the end of the year. The well-received anime adaptation of the series, and which was produced by Attack on Titan, the final season studio Mappa, wrapped up its first season earlier this year as well. The Jujutsu Kaisen anime is available for streaming on Crunchyroll and Funimation. The manga is localized and distributed internationally by Viz Media. So here we go with that one. And look, we do have 3 people in here, so that's cool. People watching. Okay. So, anyways, as we're coming up on the hour mark here, now we're gonna move on to the next story here. Here's another trailer that we can talk about here. There's another show that was pretty popular, particularly like last year. Rising of Shield Hero Season 2 trailer focuses on Philo. Philo, the Philolial, um, shows that she's more than ready for a fight in a brand new trailer for the upcoming season of The Rising of the Shield Hero. Article by Lance Gore, published 9 hours ago. She looks kind of cute there. Kadokawa has posted a new trailer for the upcoming season of The Rising of the Shield Hero. Celebration of the manga is re-airing in Japan. The latest trailer for the anime spotlights the final member to join the main trio in their adventure. Philo, the brief 30-second video showcases the young Philolial's most memorable scenes, from the moment she hatched from her egg until her duel with the Philolial queen, Vittoria. Kadokawa described the video by saying, quote, to celebrate the rising of the Shield Hero re-airing in Japan, we created a character movie. The third character is Philo, a member of a bird-like monster species known as Philolials. I even see that she's got wings there. Kadokawa previously released 2 other character movies covering the other 2 members of the main trio. With the first video starring the titular shield hero Naofumi, the second trailer focused on the fan favorite character Raphtalia, who some may recognize as the winner of the Best Girl Award in the 2020 Crunchyroll Anime Awards. Now, mind you, the Rising of the Shield Hero got some controversy here because how the show started off was, I believe it was Raptalia actually first accused Naofumi there of trying to assault her. You know, so that was causing some major issues there. So as we continue on here, okay, we already read that paragraph. Um, the Rising of the Shield Hero is an ongoing light novel series written by Aneko Usagi and published by Media Factory, with 22 volumes released at this time. An anime adaptation produced by animation studio Kinema Citrus, who also made in Abyss, Barakamon, um, began airing in 2019 and ran for 25 episodes. A second and third season for the anime have also been announced, the second season set to air in spring 2022. The Rising of the Shield Hero's first couple of episodes drew some controversy from North American audiences over its depictions of a false rape accusation and systemic slavery. Despite these criticisms, the show was widely praised by fans for its satisfying character development and intriguing plotline. The Rising of the Shield Hero has also garnered a spin off series entitled The Reprise of the Spear Hero that centers around Motoyatsu Kitamura, who stands as one of the other four heroes alongside Naofumi. The Rising of the Shield Hero is currently available for streaming on Funimation, Crunchyroll, and Netflix. Season 2 is set to debut in 2022. The show is one of several anime series that have already been confirmed for a 2022 premiere, alongside the final season of Attack on Titan, Girls Frontline, and Trapped in a Dating Sim. The world of otome games is tough for mobs. All right, so there we go with that one. Let's see, and we're back down to 2. All right, so anyways. All right, so here's our next story we're going to cover. Let me see. All right. But a very good 2. Yep. Very good 2. Very good consistent 2, at least. Yeah. All right. So, One Piece set to surpass Harry Potter, Batman sales records. A dedicated One Piece fan has calculated that Eiichiro Oda's popular manga series will soon outsell the Harry Potter books and Batman comics. Article by Michael Lacerna, published 7 hours ago. So, from what we've been talking about, I know Flash has talked a lot about this, how manga's been kicking comics rear end. And there's Nami from One Piece, that big smile of hers. I've been watching the One Piece anime lately, so One Piece is on the cusp of becoming the first manga series in history to have a circulation of over 500 million copies. Wow, that's pretty good. Which means it's also about to surpass some sales records set by other pop culture icons as well, including Harry Potter and Batman. That's according to new sales data and predictions compiled by Reddit user Ohans. Using the recently released Oricon sales charts for 2021, as well as sales data collected from other outlets in previous years, Ohan shared a number of charts that detailed One Piece's sales from 2008 until now. The mathematically inclined One Piece fan concluded that Oda's pirate epic should surpass the total sales of Batman comics, about 495 million copies, may even break the half a billion mark before the end of the year. One Piece is also set to surpass the approximately 500 million copies sold record set by the best selling book series of all time, Harry Potter, if current sales trends continue. And I mean, that's quite, and the thing is, as you guys know, the Batman comic's been at it since 1940, which is 81 years. Harry Potter's been a little shorter time, obviously, but One Piece will break these records despite actually experiencing a slow decline in overall sales. Ohans notes that despite all of the hype for the series' thousandth chapter and thousandth collected and hundredth collected volume, the series has been experiencing a small but steady drop sales every year, I guess, since the start of the or every month since the start of the current Wano country arc. While it's pretty much guaranteed that the series will surpass the 500 million mark, this slow decline may hamper the series' chances of surpassing Superman's 600 million issue sold figure. Ohans speculates that the series could see a spike in sales if the series' next and potentially final story arc builds up enough hype for the series finale, or if the upcoming live action Netflix adaptation manages to draw in new audiences. And you can't really be too dependent on Netflix because they've just had a way of screwing anime, particularly with some of the woke stuff they've tried to pull in recent years. Despite that decline, One Piece was still overall the sixth best selling manga series in Japan in 2021, placing it just behind Kohei Horikoshi's My Hero Academia, but still placing the 24-year-old series ahead of newer hits such as Spy Family and Chainsaw Man. The overall best selling manga series for the year is Gege Akutami's Jujutsu Kaisen, which managed to sell 30 million copies in 2021, despite taking a 2-month hiatus this summer. Akutami's dark fantasy shonen series managed to just barely outsell Koyoharu Kotoge's Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, which sold 29.5 million copies in its final year serialization. One Piece is localized and distributed in North America by Viz Media. The anime adaptation of the series, which recently aired its landmark 1000th episode, is available for streaming through Crunchyroll and Funimation. So there we go with that one. So we'll get ready to move on to the next story here then. I'm going to step away from my computer for a moment. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Woody, you still here with me, man? Anyways, so we'll to this next one. We got a couple more articles here to go through. Yeah, okay, we see the two viewers again, so that's good. Hour and 13 mark, so it looks like we're making at least some good time here. All right, 5 sports animes to watch after Kuroko's basketball. Here is a small list of shonen sports animes capable of following Kuroko and Kagami's epic clash against the Generation of Miracles. Article by Samuel Hodgetts, published 5 hours ago. Initially released in 2012, Tadatoshi Fujimaki's Kuroko's Basketball. Now, Kuroko, I believe, has something to do with the word black. I think Kuroko is a Japanese word for black, I believe. Um, has seen a massive resurgence within the anime scene. Following its recent inclusion in the Netflix library, the anime has once again started trending, providing viewers with intense action and a shonen style um, take on the dynamics of sports, which pre existing fans of the genre have come to expect. Um, I'm going to step away. Yo. All right. I'm going to step away. I'm going to go off camera here for a quick moment. I'll be right back. However, new fans to the genre may feel lost as to where they can find more sporting goodness to satiate their hunger for teamwork and scoreboards. This article highlights 5 anime definitely worth a watch if you enjoyed the annex of Kuroko and the boys of Seiren High. The Yowamushi Pedal. This is a bicycle. This is a bicycle racing anime. Also available for viewing on Netflix, Yowamushi Pedal follows Onoda Sakamichi's journey after joining his high school's bicycle racing club. Onoda is an otaku by nature, making daily trips to Akihabara on a city bicycle, usually intended for only short journeys on relatively even ground. By using the style of a bike by using this style of a bicycle over large distances and uphill on a regular basis, Onoda naturally developed um, an incredible amount of stamina and steady form. Um, as a result, his small, timid character, seemingly unfit for the sport, is able to overcome many obstacles and raise the team to new heights. Oh, you got a bit of an underdog story here. Sounds like that's a pretty good. The role Onoda plays within the story is very similar to that of Kuroko's in Kuroko's basketball, and fans of the latter should find the former just as appealing, especially as he gradually gains confidence within the club. Likewise, fans of how Kuroko's basketball delves into the finer details of the sport will be pleased to hear that Yowamushi Pedal is no different, exploring the mechanisms behind racing bikes and covering topics like cadence. Watch Yowamushi Pedal on Netflix. Haikyuu. Now this one, I watched this one earlier this year. Haikyuu. Looks like we have a third person. Hello, third person. Glad to have you here. If you can like and share the stream, that would be helpful. See if we can get some more friendly people in here. I hope you'll enjoy the content as we are finishing up here. Anyways, I was watching this anime earlier this year. This one's a pretty good one as well. You might want to check out. So it was dubbed by Sentai Studios, so you got the Houston voice actors doing the English dub for it. Another anime with a protagonist physically unsuited for the sport he competes in is Haikyuu, and its chibi star Hinata. Quote unquote. Unlike Kuroko, Hinata was never part of a generation of miracles. Instead, he came from an exceptionally weak middle school prior to joining Karasuno's volleyball team. In a sport where height is everything, he is equally underestimated because of his short stature, but after joining Karasuno, he builds upon his innate jumping talent to become a key player for the team. The little firecracker is what he is. He's somebody. I'm sure if you guys watch this Hinata, you would really or Hinata. All right, no, I think it is Hinata. What I don't know how it's pronounced, but you'd be right there with him basically. In a similar fashion to Kuroko's basketball, Haikyuu chooses to develop every Karasuno team member with a personal backstory that explains their particular character traits, makes them more relatable for the audience. The show also focuses on the first year duo as a cornerstone of the team, with Hinata and Kageyama's relationship on the court mirroring that of Kagami and Kuroko's fairly closely. The intensity of the matches in Haikyuu, live up to those found in Kuroko's basketball, without any larger than life abilities to detract from the realism. Haikyuu can be streamed fully on Crunchyroll. Earning Kabaddi. And before I start reading that one, let's see. No, I guess whoever was here may have left us again. But, oh well. For fans who enjoyed the larger than life shonen elements of Kuroko's basketball, such as Midorima's ability to shoot from anywhere on the court, then Burning Kabaddi is a must watch from this year. Tetsuya Yogoshi decided to quit playing sports after finding them all too easy and having disputes with his former teammates. He is then scouted by Kei Iura and blackmailed into trialing for the Kabaddi team, a sport he knows nothing about, and as he learns, he is far from the best at. Kabaddi is a contact sport that combines elements of tag and dodgeball. Whilst it is popular in the Indian subcontinent for Western audiences, it is extremely unfamiliar and seems almost fantastical. Fortunately, Yoigoshi is, is oblivious to the sport's intricacies as well, which allows the characters to explain the rules to both him and the audience simultaneously. For this reason, Burning Kabaddi is a great choice for viewers who want the thrilling action of a traditional sports anime without feeling as if they should already know about the sport beforehand. Watch Burning Kabaddi on Crunchyroll here. Ahiru no Sora. Looks like another basketball anime. For those who fell in love with the world of basketball after watching Kuroko, Ahiru no Sora is a follow up series that can potentially fill the void left in its wake. Another basketball series that's pretty good also is Dear Boys. That's one I've watched before. Sora Kurumatani gained his passion for basketball from his mother, and after promising her he will dominate his high school basketball debut, he discovers the basketball club at his high school has been taken over by delinquents with no intentions of taking part in club activities. Undeterred by this, Sora continues to try to convince the club members to join him in his trade. Man, this one even sounds a little bit like Dear Boys, has some similarities to it. Slowly revealing the history of the club and allowing for the development of some interesting character types, like Kuroko's basketball, the show successfully blends sporting scenes, slice of life elements off the court, in which, in order to keep content from getting too repetitive, in contrast, it takes a more realistic approach to matches, favoring hard practice skills over innate special abilities. Watch Ahiru no Sora on Crunchyroll. Let me see something here. It's kind of funny because this series has a very similar premise to Dear Boys as well, also called Hoop Days. Megalobox, and we read an article about this. I think what was it, yesterday or the day before? Available for streaming on Netflix, Megalobox is a perfect choice for someone looking for a more mature take on sports anime genre. In an alternate dystopian Japan rife with poverty and segregation, Gearless Joe enters into the brutal world of megaloboxing in order to survive. Just like Kuroko's basketball, the show takes the key elements of a traditional sport, in this case boxing, and incorporates larger than life aspects to intensify action even further. For Megalobox, this means strapping mechanical exoskeletons onto the boxers to boost the lethality um, of their punches, which lead to some brutal fights, not for the faint of heart. Kind of like throwing slaves into the gladiators arena. But at least in this particular anime, they actually give him a sporting chance, as it were. As his ring name suggests, though, Gearless Joe enters the ring without any mechanical assistance, providing the same underdog feeling felt when watching Kuroko or um, Hinata, um, compete respectively. However, as boxing is a solo sport, the show also has a much smaller cast of characters, which are broken down in greater depth than first expected. Watch Megalobox on Netflix here. And of course, I think the first season of Megalobox was also shown on Toonami. I think we got one more article to go through before, and then we'll be done. Let's see, where are we at on time here? Hour 28. So we're coming up on an hour and a half. So made good time here tonight. Sounds like what a Japanese quarterback would say to his center. Hike you. Yeah. Yeah. Hike you. All right, so we got one more article to go through. Then we'll probably get ready to to start winding down. Start maybe do this day in each history afterwards. Um, anyway, so we got one more article, as I said, to go through, and this one's probably a little bit more. Now, this is in part due to you may have been hearing. I know it's been all over the news today, apparently, where I guess they've discovered the first cases of the Omicron virus being discovered here in the States. So there are people, of COVID. So New York City urges Anime NYC attendees to get tested for COVID. Mayor Bill de Blasio, boo, of New York City urges all who attended the Anime NYC 2021 convention be tested for COVID-19 as soon as possible. Yeah, Anime NYC was, I think, a week or two ago, by Emily Zogby, published 4 hours ago. All right, so here we go. The city of New York is urging those who attended the Anime NYC 2021 convention to get tested for coronavirus, COVID 19. Quote, we are aware of the case of the Omicron variant identified in Minnesota that is associated with travel to a conference in New York City. And we should assume there is community spread of the variant in our city, unquote, said Mayor de Blasio in a statement shared to the official City of New York Twitter. Mayor de Blasio stated that the city is, quote, working closely with the state and the CDC as well as the Javits Center's event organizers, and our test and trace core will be contacting conference attendees, unquote. Anime NYC 2021 took place at the Javits Center in Manhattan between November 18th and November 22nd. All right. So that was basically the weekend leading up to, that was a weekend before Thanksgiving, obviously. Um, November 18th to the 22nd. So was a Monday. Yeah, Thursday to Monday there. Um, and hosted over 53,000 people over the course of the week. The convention required masks, and according to de Blasio, followed NYC's Key to NYC requirement, which mandates that certain establishments and events must verify that all staff and attendees are be fully vaccinated to enter. The statement continued to urge convention attendees, quote, especially anyone experiencing symptoms, unquote, to get tested for COVID-19 as soon as possible. Quote, I urge all New Yorkers to get vaccinated, wear a face mask while indoors and in public, and help our city beat the virus once and for all, unquote, de Blasio said, while also encouraging New Yorkers to take further precautions, such as continuing to practice social distancing. Per the statement, New York City's contact tracing will be in touch with those who attended the convention. Governor Kathy Hochul of New York released a statement on Thursday, December 2nd, during a press conference, as well as reported by the New York Times, saying that the population should continue to take precautions by continuing to wear masks and get tested. According to Hochul, the Anime NYC attendee who tested positive is a vaccinated Minnesota resident who experienced mild symptoms of COVID-19. So obviously, the vaccine, you're still going to get it. So what's really the difference of whether or not you get the vaccine? I mean, just saying. A good time. Uh, anyways, quote, we do anticipate there'll be more cases, unquote, Governor Hochul said. Quote, this is not cause for alarm. It was foreseen ever since it was first reported out of South Africa that we knew it would come to New York at some point, New York State at some point. Since that statement, Governor Hochul reported on Twitter that there have been 5 confirmed cases of the Omicron variant in New York State, reiterating that this is not cause for alarm, unquote. She continued, quote, we knew this variant was coming and we have the tools to stop the spread, unquote. All right, there we go with that one. All right, so there we go with that one. So we're done with the main articles tonight. We made it past the hour and a half mark, so that's good. Let's see now. So I just kind of 1991. Alrighty then. So, with all that being said, we're past the hour and a half mark now. We got through all the main articles here, so it might be a good time to start winding down here. Now, granted, um, tomorrow I still will be doing the, I will still be doing the historical comic retrospect, but I still haven't heard back out on whether or not he's going to be here with me. I may have to have somebody else come in and fill in for him. But we will still be doing it. Um, so anyways, with that, um, Woody, are you ready for this day in Nietzsche history? I think it's about a good time to start wrapping up here. Are you ready for this day in Nietzsche history, Woody? Half of my heart. Half of my heart won't do. We ready? Nietzsche it up. We ready, Mike? All right. All right. Well, without any further ado, then let's go ahead and today being Thursday, December the 2nd, 2021. Let's go ahead and take a look back at this day in each history. And our first stop, we're going to go back to 1991. As on this date in 1991, which was 30 years ago today, I believe this was at a WWF Superstars TV taping that this happened. Shawn Michaels turns heel during a segment of the barbershop, suddenly super kicking his tag team partner Marty Jannetty during the segment. The turn was the tipping point of an angle where the Rockers, Michaels and Jannetty, were going. This was before Michael, of course, this was before Shawn Michaels went on to a single success. This is still early on in his career when he and Jannetty were still tagging regularly. We're going through a rough stretch, and miscommunication was causing several losses. With barbershop host Brutus Beefcake mediating, the two seemed to resolve their differences before Michael made the super kick that jump started a superstar's career. And I still have that visual in my head where Sean sat there and just super kicked Marty. Let's see, I believe Sean was wearing like a black leather jacket with black jeans. Marty, I think, was wearing a red shirt with white pants. You had Brutus Beefcake there as well. Sean literally super kicked him right through the glass window of the barbershop. That was something to behold. A feud was planned to begin after the segment airs. Now, remember, this is from a taping, so it actually would probably not have been aired for a few weeks. Begin after the segment airs. The two will continue to team, with the storyline bickering continuing until the segment airs in early January 1992. Now, to understand what they're talking about there, back even as recently as the early 90s there on the syndicated program. A lot of those syndicated programs like Superstars, Wrestling Challenge for the WWF, and even like for the NWA programs like Worldwide and Pro and all that. Those programs were usually taped weeks in advance, which sometimes did cause certain problems. It wasn't like where you have like Raw and SmackDown today or Impact today, where it's taped 2 days. Well, Raw is live usually, but usually SmackDown's Impact, those are taped and then aired 2 days later. These shows were usually taped weeks in advance. Around this earlier this year, not this year as in 2021, but I'm talking about earlier in 91. In fact, we covered this on a previous history segment where this practice they had where they would have the shows taped weeks in advance to be shown at later dates caused a negative title reign in WCW. You know, the titles that would become eventually known as the WCW um, World Tag Team titles. But at this point back in 91, of course, was when a lot of these syndicated shows were taped weeks in advance. So it did cause some interesting continuity issues, certain things. But anyways, but Jannetty is fired in January for drug possession before the first matches can take place. While Jannetty would return later in '92 and be modestly successful, Michaels is in the meantime placed several high-profile matches that only boost his potential as a superstar. So there we go with that. So on this date back in 1991, during a WWE Superstars taping, that's when Shawn Michaels turned heel and thus sparked his single stardom. So with that, we'll move on to the next. Um, we'll move on to the next bit of Nietzsche history, which of course will take us to 1998, which was 23 years ago today. As on this date, 23 years ago today, the 480th issue of Archie went on sale on this date in 1998. It was, of course, an anthology series. It went on sale for $1.75, with 32 pages. You had four Archie stories and a Moose story in it. So, on this date in 1998, 23 years ago today, the 480th issue of Archie went on sale on this date. So, there we go with that one. There's that one. Now, as we move on to the next, on this date, 20 years ago, 2001 here. On this date, in a more, well, say somewhat of a more somber note here. On this date in 1990 and 2001, mind you, Chase Craig, American writer and cartoonist who worked principally on comic strips and comic books from the mid 1940s and 1970s, was a prolific editor and scripter for Western Publishing's Dell and Gold Key Comics, including the popular Disney Comics line. Chase Craig passed away on this date 30 years ago today at the age of 91. As stated here, he was a writer, scripter, and editor for basically the Dell and Gold Key line of comic books, particularly with the licensed properties of Disney. So we may talk a little bit about that tomorrow as well, about may touch upon that a little bit too. So, anyways, on this date 30 years ago today, Chase Craig, writer, scripter, editor for Dell and Gold Key, passed away at the age of 91. And last but not least, on this date 10 years ago today, in 2011, the OVA, the Lupin the Third OVA, Blood Seal, Eternal Mermaid, would be released on this day. I guess the special Blood Seal, Eternal Mermaid special would be released by TMS Entertainment. So, on this date in 2011, 10 years ago today, the Lupin the Third special, Blood Seal, Blood Seal, Eternal Mermaid would be released. With that, hey Woody, I thank you for being here with me tonight. It's good to have at least one person here for the majority of the time. I did have a lot of people come in and help with the likes and shares. That was good. Hopefully, we'll get more people in here soon. But anyways, as I said earlier, tomorrow we will be doing, of course, the historical comic retrospect. Hopefully, I can reach back out. He'll be here, but if not, I'm going to also be looking for an alternative. With that, oh, you're welcome, Mike. Okay. So with that, I thank you for being here, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.